This ain't your stuffy, snobby, boring golf show. It's Golf DMV, highlighting golf in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and anywhere else they travel. It's Golf DMV.
Welcome back to Golf DMV, brought to you in part by Cachet Spine Sports. You can go to golfdmv.com to learn more about her and her practice there. Again, you got to have your back right, got to get the neck right. Get a good chiropractor to make sure that your game is on point. Also, the Love Life Cafe, thelovelifecafe.com, conveniently located in Laurel. Get one of those freshly squeezed juices. And now, as fall is here, you may want to get you a warm drink, an espresso, as I used to call espresso. Now I said espresso because Vern, very sensitive when it comes to those hot drinks. I'm
helping you out.
Helping me to not sound ignorant. And then also, werevealwealth.com. Shout out to our buddy Lou Naylor, by the way, of Where's My Meeting. He's going to re-up again as a sponsor, but as a brother, where's my meeting.com. Let Lou know that because 'tis the season for conferences and virtual hybrid parties and things like that. You'll want to go to where'smymeeting.com to schedule your in-person AV system stuff, or whether it is a hybrid kind of situation. You want to go to these guys to get that done. Shout out to Lou and Where's My Meeting. Lots of stuff to talk about. So we've got a blast from the past with Keegan Bradley winning the Zozo, and then also Ricky Fowler finishing second, which made the Jennings home, except my wife Sierra for whatever reason. Very happy that Ricky, 2 top 10 finishes in his last 3 starts. Yes. And so we'll see if this means good things for Ricky going into 2023. LB's back in the DMV after some Kentucky golf. We'll talk about that. Vern's got some stuff from Falls Road. And I do want to take an informal poll to ask everybody about like golf tournament gifts. And I'll tell you why in a second. Oh yeah, Freddie's 60 spot too. We'll talk about Freddie couples with the 60. So a couple of rounds to talk about. We'll get to LB's trip in a second. Got a chance to get out to play Enterprise. Shout out to Antron, who is a coach with the PGA Junior League in Prince George's County. He teaches from Henson Creek. He invited me out to a first tee program at Enterprise, a first tee tournament at Enterprise. Al Johnson was there from our buddies We Reveal Wealth, werevealwealth.com. Also Manny's coach, Coach Elvie, she was there. A couple of coaches from Enterprise was there, and a bunch of people. It was really cool to kind of get out. And I don't know whether, because we went to Enterprise right after they reopened from the renovations. Yeah. And I just didn't feel it. For whatever reason there, I felt a little better about some of the renovations. And I don't know whether... Did it look better than when we were there? Yeah. Okay, good. Oh, they let it grow grass grow back in and stuff? Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And so there was grass in places. And so I felt there was grass on the court, But yeah, so Enterprise. So here's what's funny. So when we start on 9, that par 5 to close the front 9, right? Mm-hmm. And so I hit a drive. I mean, just right down the middle. Furthest drive. No question. We're using mine. Yep. Approach shot. I'm using my 5-wood. Right on the green. We're on in 2. Woo. And then I put it up. I'm closest. I mark the ball. The other spot, they're not close. Then I tap it in. I birdied 9 for the team. And it felt good from the say, Claude, man, you're not going to carry us the whole round, man. You're not going to carry us the whole round. And I was like, no. Believe me, I will not carry you the whole round. It will fall apart. But it was just the feeling of getting it out the way early. Like, we used a bunch of my shots already. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is it. This is all you get from me. Yeah, it's just the check box. You just check it off the box because you don't want to leave that first hole or the second hole and the group hasn't used any of your shots yet in the best ball, right? Because then the pressure's like, okay, I got to contribute something here. And usually, especially when you know people, even if you don't, no one says anything, but you think it, and you think it more than anyone else thinks about it, right? Like the whole contribution, right?
Yes. Right? Yeah. So I know we have a tournament coming up this Thursday that I'm now in. Because I don't have anything to do. We'll talk about that on another show after I get a job. So, but no. So we're playing in WG. But we don't play many tournaments anymore because they take a long time. Like Abby and I talked about, whatever. But yours, like maybe once, twice a year max.
And by the way, I will say this too. Usually, depending on deadlines and things like that. If I invite people out to the tournament, shout out to Antron because he did this too. If I invite someone out to a tournament, I usually take care of the bill.
That's true.
Because it takes so long, and like I don't like you said, I don't really like playing in tournaments anymore. Because it's just not my thing. But whatever.
So to that point, though, we did. If you go back some shows ago, we Glenn and I did the best ball match against, or I guess best captain's choice, whatever you want to call it, against the Nailers. And we talked about how it was a fun format, and I think that we should all do it maybe as the 8-time or something like that, because it is when you're doing it away from a tournament where it's not going to take 6 hours and you're just doing it with your homies on a course that you guys know really well. In our case, we did it in Enterprise. It is fun. So to your point, Claude, the team aspect of that, you're happy when you contribute, and you do really feel it when you're not, particularly when your partner is like really carrying you, like, they hit a good shot and it's like, all right, cool, boo, boo. And then you get in the fairway, they hit another good shot and you flub yours and it's just quiet. It's like, oh, that's fine. It starts off, it's just like, oh, it's cool, man. You got it, you pick them up. And that just goes to silence, where it's just when you just do a chip and they just look and they just go and mark their ball. All right, man, knock it close. And it just goes from encouragement to like direction to like, all right, man, just keep it in the fairway, okay? I got this and the thing. You just keep it in the fairway. You know what? Don't even hit. Save your ball. But that's what I hear in my head when I'm trying to be a good team member. But again, it does feel, for it to be such a format that we don't like with the structure and how long it takes with the tournaments, it is fun when you do it amongst your friends. Sure. So it is like the team element. I do kind of like that. And so if I can ask you now on the show, like, you got to play with sponsors this week? Or are you joining me and Mike? Can we get some of that birdie magic on our team, or it's just me and Mike solo dolo? What's
so
up?
For sure. Well, I can't even say for sure. Right now, the way your team is constructed, it's you, it's Mike, and the wild card is Wendell, because Wendell said he was in. Okay. He says, "Put me down, and I'll confirm closer in."
Well, it's Monday.
Right.
You got to confirm with work in his schedule.
Wendell, we have 2 days, but I think he's in. And but the wild card is if Wendell's out, then it will be me and Antron with you and Mike. Which I think will be fine. We'll be good with that. Yeah. If Wendell's in, it will be
the three of us and someone.
Or just the 3 of you guys, and you alternate. Someone will get 2 shots each.
Me probably,
right? Because I'm not gonna stick you guys with just anybody. Because I know some of the people who are going to be there. I don't know everybody who's going to be there, and I'm protective of my people, and so I don't really want I don't
also protect them too from Mike, because Mike might turn up. You don't want that young.
Right?
Why are you looking at my backswing?
Right.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a tournament. We're on the same team.
Right. So, but yeah, and so and then like you talked about, wanting to contribute, like you don't want, like, when the team has mulligans, there's always that thing like, okay, who's going to take the mulligan? And when you're struggling, you don't want to be the one like, I'll do it. It's like, well, why would we want you to do it? Because why would we want that at all?
Or vice versa, the team doesn't even, it's like, who's the mulligan? They don't even bring you up. They're like, yeah, I think LB should do this, and I'll do this. Claude, here, you hold this club for me, please. And then you just like, wait a minute.
Right.
Not even considered.
Exactly right. So anyway, but we ended up finishing 4th, which was great.
That's pretty good.
And they were like 15 or 16 foursomes or something like that. It was packed.
So the line wasn't too bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah. We were doing all right. We did.
Guys be capping out. They be some of these bigger tournaments. It's just a line, 59s and 54s.
A lot of lying out there. Yeah. But it seemed, so we finished with a 65. The winning score was a 61. And so, I think there were 2 at like 62 and then maybe a 64 or something like that. Anyway. So that was fun. And Enterprise is looking in good shape. And by the way, we mentioned this before, at least I think I mentioned it before. Fall golf is just my favorite. I mean, when it's a little cool outside, Vern's breaking out the cider and the leaves are changing. It's just my favorite time. So anyway, speaking of fall, Vern, LB, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
No, I was gonna say the only downside to that is when you can't find your ball and it's in the fairway because it's under the leaf.
Almost happened a couple times yesterday.
Timbers. That happens all the time at Timbers of Troy. That is
Blue Mash
the
too.
leaf capital of the DMV. And Blue Mash too, that happens there a lot there. So
anywhere that's got leaves. I mean, it happened to us this weekend. It was your ball rolling the fairway, but there was some leaves out there, and then you can't find it. You just can't find it.
Exactly. So Vern, Falls Road, you got who was there? And you said that there was the most valuable lesson in golf that Mike learned it.
He got to witness it in person. So it was me, myself, Mike, and Rick McCormick, and just the three of us. And we got paired up with a gentleman named Randy. Randy, older gentleman, 63 years old. Off the break, off meeting Randy just reminded me of you, LB, like an older white version of you. It was the best. I'm serious. He pulls up. He pulls up and says, "Hey, what's up? My name's Randy." I was like, "Cool." Pulls out a cigar. He's like, "Yeah." He said, we saw us hitting from the tips. So for those who don't know, Falls Rose tips are like just 6,100 or whatever. But he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm 63. I just had like my third surgery on my knee." He said, "So I'm gonna." He had his own cart. He had like the cart with the little flag in it to where he could basically drive anywhere. Yeah. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna alternate between two different sets of tees." He said, "Sometimes you might see me in the cart he said he won't put everything out. Like if he gets it to within 6 feet, sometimes he'll just pick it up and go sit down."
Whatever. Basically, he's trying to tell y'all, don't say anything to me. I'm gonna do what I do. Don't talk to me
super kind, but he was like, "Don't mind me. I'm gonna play my game. I'm gonna do whatever I do." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I said, "Man, your third surgery in your knee." And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "My doctor said I shouldn't be out here." He said, "But I'm 63. I do what I want." I said, "I recognize that." I said, I said, "Okay." He said, "Yeah, I'm at the point that it's my life. I'm gonna do what I want." The lesson though that Mike got to see. So when any new golfer I bring in, I'm sure, and this is true for anybody who's indoctrinated anybody to the game. You stress, hey, don't be short game. Learn to putt, learn to chip around the green inside 100 yards, et cetera, et cetera. And you tell, I anecdotally tell all of them a story. It's like, hey, or the generic story of you go to any course out here, like Enterprise, any local muni, and you play one of these old men for money, and you're new. I can hit it far, but I don't know where it's going. They're probably gonna take your lunch. They're probably gonna break your pockets. And you hear that, but yesterday we got to see it because Randy at 63 with a bad knee and a swing. And here's the other thing: if I could show you, great gentleman, like joy to play with. If you saw a swing, you wouldn't say it's one of those swings where it's like, okay, very low to the ground, very unique, not picturesque. But I'll be damned if it wasn't fairway green. Sometimes it's like he was in pain, making birdies. And almost got me upset because I forgot that he was alternating tees. There were a couple of shots where I sit one out there like maybe 260, 275, and then I'm not paying attention to the fact that he's hitting up, and I go up to my ball and he's there. I was like, wait a minute now. I said, wait, I just had the Rattlewood round. I said, what you about? Oh, he's hitting up, but still impressive from only 15, 20 yards up. He's still knocking it out there, super consistent. I told Mike, I said, this right here, Mike. I said, pay attention. This is the person who will take all the money out of your pocket when you pull up, and you'll see his swing and like, oh, I got this. He's not hitting it anywhere. Then you look up. He's like, what'd you get? Par. I was like, wait, what happened to you? I had to drop over here, and I had to pars, birdies. On the back, he didn't finish. Unfortunately, Randy didn't finish. He got to like 16, and he had his knee was really bothering him. He had to tap out. But if we were doing skins, he would have beaten us already if it was match play. He destroyed all three of us already, myself included. And to the point where I started playing better because I was trying to compete with old Randy here.
Old Randy,
super solid. And again, like inside 100 yards, just dropping it right on right on the pin or whatever, and could putt his ass off, man. So lesson for the day. Same thing we always say: work on that short game. It's also inspiring though to know that people talk about, it's game for life, blah blah blah. I do like seeing guys like that because it's like, hey, I know that as long as I'm upright and can walk when I get to 60, whatever. If I still have a little bit of hand-eye coordination, I can still play this game at a high level, man. So
sure, yeah.
I like how you make 60 sound so old.
I forgot.
Yeah. 3 years I played with were 77.
Yeah,
okay.
How was that?
Same thing. They would, if we were paying for money, they would have took my money. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And we played from the same teams. We played up with them. I played up with them yesterday. The second round, I played up. We all played up. Puck is 70, and Puck, I didn't even realize. I thought Puck.
So well, before you do that, why don't we just go ahead and make that official transition? Okay. Lawrence, where were you? And then let's go through what you did with the old guys.
So I was in Louisville this weekend with another Rodney golf, weekend or whatever you're going to call it. We do these at least usually one in the spring and one in the fall. I just fly out there and for the weekend and we play golf, hang out, drink with the guys and all that kind of stuff. So we played two rounds, Saturday and Sunday. We played Heritage Hills, which I did post pictures of, which is in Louisville. Is it in Louisville? Just outside of Louisville. And Sunday, we played Chariots Run, which we played before. It's a very, very nice course. It's in Indiana, just across the bridge in Indiana. So it's a link style course.
Okay.
The first one, I won't say much about it. It was a regular course. Prices was great, $45 on a Saturday, prime time, $45, and it's a really nice course.
The prices up here
we getting so ripped off when it comes to golf. So this course, this Heritage Hills one we played Saturday, it was the number one golf week public course in Kentucky, 2008 top 10 America's best new courses, and in it was a top 25 for the women's of America in their rating. So it's a nice course. It's a really nice course. Mm-hmm. It was $45 on Saturday at middle of the day. So we played that one. We had two groups there. So we had quote unquote the long hitters hit from the whites, and everybody, the older guys hit from the goals. Fast forward to Sunday, we played Chariots Run. Like I say, it is a really, really nice course. It was $85. Just for comparison. Okay. But of course, that included range balls, all the range balls up they got a great practice area, grass tees, they got a short game area, they got they got everything. It's a top-notch course. I would compare it to here, it's a Maryland National Whiskey Creek type
vibe.
Setting.
Okay.
For $85 out there. Okay. GPS on the card the whole nine. So it was only 4. It was supposed to be 5. It was supposed to be 6. Speaking of knees, James has had several knee surgeries, and he tapped out on a Saturday. He was playing with us Saturday, and toward the end of the round, he was barely getting out of the cart. He was just giving him such the blues. So he didn't
banned next year.
It was that
yeah. So James is 70s. I think James is 76. So yeah, James is not going to Bandit.
No.
Really nice guy though. And if you meet James, you'd love James.
Okay.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
He gets in his truck to leave, he gets into his pickup truck to leave, then he puts on his Trump hat.
Okay. The red one. Got
it. Yeah. Great guy though. You would never, as long as we don't talk politics, great. Well, even we have talked, he and I have in the past.
Right.
But a great guy, really nice.
He is a delightful person.
Yes, exactly. Right. He got some screwed up political thoughts, but
he's delightful in the screwed upness.
Yes. Nice, really nice guy. I like James.
Some dissonance there. Yeah.
Yes, I like James. So we played with Puck. I think Puck's 75, and Russ might be 76 or 77.
Okay.
Right. So those two, and Rodney and I played at Chariots Run.
These are all Rodney's like friends and coworkers.
Basically. Yeah. They've been playing together for years. I mean, I've known them for a while too, because I played
going down there. Yeah.
Okay. Chariots Run, the greens were 11 plus.
Okay, that's fast.
Oh my God, were they fast?
That's fast.
Yeah, it's like more than
unbelievably fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you tap it and it runs 8 feet. I mean, it was just gone. It was. I mean, if you two putted, you felt like you just won the lottery or something. I mean, because it was just that difficult. But the course is beautiful, outstanding course. So again, we played up. We played from 52. Was it 52? Something like 52, 53, whatever it is.
Right. You shot a 79.
No, I know. I stopped keeping score around hole 9.
Oh man.
That's how bad it was. I
was it the greens?
No, it wasn't the greens. It's just I couldn't hit the ball. I couldn't hit it straight to save my life.
Okay.
Every tee, and to the point, I didn't hit a driver. I think I hit my driver twice the whole day, because I knew from the day before that my swing was all out of whack. So I started out hitting just my hybrid off the tee. And because of my age, I do have an age advantage over the older guys. They were hitting drivers. When I would hit my hybrid, we all be sitting there together.
Right.
The same general area. A few times I drove them with my hybrid.
Yeah.
When I hit it straight. But there were a couple times I had to pick up another ball and hit again because I shanked them off into the woods or whatever. So it was a very frustrating round for my swing per se, because I went to the whole with Rodney. It was like, why do I even play golf? You know what I mean?
Back to this.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was really contemplating it again. I'm like, it was just so bad.
Right.
So bad. I mean, I know what my game is, but it's not that.
Yeah. Like I know what I can do even on an average day.
Right.
And it's not this. Like, why does this even show up?
This shouldn't be the floor.
Yes, exactly. It was terrible. Every once in a while, I hit 2 shots together, but most time it would be 1 shot bad, 1 shot good, 3 shots bad, 1 shot good, that kind of thing. Until I got to the 18th hole, it was a par 5. And I had a great drive. It was very firm too. So it ran out. I just did the math just while we were sitting there. It was 283 yards on the drive. Wow. I had a 9-iron into the green, which hit on the green, but because they were so hard and fast, it flew all the way back to the cart path. So a guy did get up and down, quote unquote, for a par. But it was an ugly golf day for me per se.
Oh man.
But it definitely had me contemplating my whole golf life again. Because I was telling Ron, it's like, well, when I go down to the LPGA tournament in November, I plan to take my clubs, and I'm sitting there like, well, why?
Save yourself the pain.
Right. Why am I going to lug these across the country to do this? It don't make any sense.
And be by yourself, doing the
right. And to that point, if I do play golf, I'm going to play with, strangers. And I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Well, who's this guy? And he can't even out here hit, I can't even get off the tee box. I mean, come on.
Hey, sir, we'll give you, how much did you pay for the round? We'll give you that.
Right.
Great
check.
Get on out of here. It's all good. Right. Too funny.
Yeah. So I'm really, I've honestly have contemplating just shutting it down the rest of this year because I don't know.
Why don't you play Thursday in the WGTS tournament and be on Vern's team?
Hey, be on the team. You can putt. I can't putt. You can putt.
So that way you don't have to even work.
Yeah. All I have to do is swing hard.
Yeah. You don't even have to swing. Like if Vern pipes the drive 280 right down the middle, you don't even have to hit the driver. Like, you know what? We're going to play that ball.
Yep, exactly. Your whole team probably should do that anyway. Actually, just let you hit first and then say, okay, we can just move up.
Yeah. That's how you get through fast. It's when everyone wants to hit, even though you're like, I'm not going to be able to do better than that. And and even if I did, and that's one thing we ran into at Enterprise. Like, I'd hit a drive and it'd be great. And then, Antron would hit a drive and it would maybe go 4 feet, past mine, or he would do that and then mine would go 4 feet past his. It's like there was no need for either one of us to hit a ball.
Right.
Or one will go in the middle of the fairway, you hit one, and then it goes in the woods. Like there's no like if there's a drive, if he hits a drive that I'm looking at, like I would love if mine did that, then I don't need to hit. I'm good. I'm good with that. That's our drive.
So really quick, we were supposed to do this pre-show, but you just made me remember I also played Friday at Waverly. And you just made me think about this. So obviously Waverly, great shape. Side note, customer service we talk about all the time. Waverly, great customer service. I haven't had a slow round there in a while. This one was like 520.
Ooh. Oh wow.
So but guess what? So what they did, they set their marshal out. They had a marshal out there, whatever. I don't know how many. I don't know. I guess once it gets slow, it's hard to control. Like you can't do anything about it. But they had a marshal out there between our group and the group in front of us, who was basically between, and maybe the group in front of them, riding between the 3 groups, forecatting for them. Hey, your ball's over here, your ball's over here, and just moving them along. And he was just watching everybody play. And they sent it while we're out there, like it's dragging. And I had somewhere to be afterward. So while we're out there, we see a message on the GPS that says, hey, we know you had a slow round today. Please stop by the clubhouse when you're done to talk to us about it. Woo, woo. I was like, okay, we didn't know what that was. I had to leave, so I forgot. So I jetted out of there, and I think everybody else did too. It was myself, the Nailers, and our buddy Steve Crouppen. But I called the pro shop back just to say, like, hey, what was that about? Like, if we had stopped in there, because no one stopped in, we all forgot. They were offering like $10 off on the next round.
Oh wow!
Now, obviously, you'd like a rain check, but here's the thing: like we always talk about, they're trying.
Yeah,
they're trying.
We're going to offer you something for this.
He said, pace of play is very important to us, and we are sorry we couldn't. Once it gets out of control, there's so much we can do. Right. They had so just the marshal being out there forecatting for people and trying to move them along is enough. Then they try to give $10. I mean, who else I don't think anyone else. Maybe Whiskey would probably be the only other course I think that would get close to doing something like that, where like they don't really want to tolerate 2 slow rounds. But outside of that, everyone else. they're just riding around and hey, what's up, guys? You know, nobody's made a skip. So
things are moving slow today, huh, guys? Like, like, oh man, all right, have
it's
a
just
good
something
day.
I can do about that.
Right.
Shout out to Joe Hill, as I've said 1,000 times, to for the Blue Mash and the Waverly, the sister courses, both run by him, for amazing customer service in that regard. But really quick, the segue, Claude, you may be thinking of the tournament. Our buddy Steve Krubin is always coming up with formats, right?
Yes,
for team competition. He came up with one I thought was pretty good. I like this. I think we should do this. It's a 2-man match play. It goes like this: regular best ball, which is so during the entire thing you play your own ball. Regular best ball, best score from the group goes down. That's 6 holes.
Okay.
The next 6 holes is the worst ball.
Oh,
the worst ball. And then the last 6 holes is the combined score from 2 people. He says it's good because it keeps everybody engaged, because on the worst ball one, now it's not like, oh, your best player can just drag the team to victory. It's like, no,
you got to get that ball in the hole.
Yeah. Now your worst player is it's basically the 2 worst players against each other now versus the team, and then the entire team together at the end, which is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. It keeps everybody engaged the entire time. You're not checked out.
But wouldn't it be wild if the player who wrote down the score the most in the first 6 holes for the best score,
right?
It's like after the first 6 holes started playing terribly and was also the worst player.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. That would be pretty
scrambling to try to get.
Yeah, there was a period. I was on Steve's team against the Nails or whatever, and I think we maybe dormied or ended up winning by 1. I don't know. But because I
don't
like
worry, once they hear the show, they will
remind us. They will remind us. Well, they definitely dormed me. We couldn't have done worse than a tie. I don't know if we won the last hole or not, because I was like, the last 2 holes I was checked out. I was just like I had to get out of there because I had to get across town. But I was kind of bringing Steve down a little bit. But there was a period there on the worst hole section where he made a birdie, and it doesn't matter.
Oh wow!
Doesn't matter. I think I made a bogey. I mean, we pushed with the team or whatever. But so that's for those listening out there, pretty cool format if you've got guys of different or even the same handicap levels.
Sure.
Just go out there and do that, because the worst ball part is the one where it's like, damn, it's like you can't just. It's cool, you made par, but now you need to help your partner get this double bogey in, because the other guy has a double bogey putt. Let's try here, or whatever. I like that. I like that as a format. But yeah, shout out to Waverly Woods for the customer service, and our buddy Steve Krupa for the great for the great format suggestion. I think we should put that in play. So
yeah, and that's the first time I've heard of something like that, where like even the
I think he made it up.
They're in a competition to just not be the lowest of the 2 teams, that are playing. Okay, all right, that sounds good. Sounds good to me. Let's see. So we've got a little bit of pro stuff to talk about. The Zozo was this past weekend. Keegan Bradley, the original Jays golf shoe wear on the PGA Tour. He won. And the original Jays, the original kind of Twitch. He goes back and forth. A really nervous player. You can't help but to get anxious when you watch him play, because he's so nervous. And a household favorite here for the Jennings family, Richard Fowler. He finishes second. Any guys watch any of this? I didn't watch any of it.
Didn't see a second.
No, because it came on. Was it like at 3 a.m. or something like that, or 11 or 3 a.m? It was some crazy time.
Where was it?
Yeah. It was in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
Oh, that's why. Zozo. That's right. Oh, it's every year with this.
Yeah.
Anything on it?
Ricky had some comments saying that he feels like my game's in a good place now, and hopefully I'm paraphrasing, basically like I'm going to take this momentum hopefully into the next few tournaments. I do hope. It would be cool if he got relevant again. It would be awesome, because he's, like you said, we're in the off season. Well, I don't know. Golf season always confuses me, but effectively we're in the off season now, and he's making the rounds with all the other sort of mid-level.
Yeah,
I guess I can't say that like he's not in that tier 2, but he's
he's definitely mid-level now.
Yeah, now I think he's like 106. That's his world ranking. Yeah. Keegan Bradley. I mean, he won it, so he gets. I think he's exempt for the Masters next year, for the PJ Championship, and a couple other ones, the Century Tour of Tournament of Champions. But then also he's exempt through 2025 on the tour.
Oh, there you go.
So 2 years in, and there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, if he was on LIV, he would have got $16 million for that win.
Right.
Speaking of LIV, am I correct in seeing that Brooks Koepka won the LIV, season?
That is, maybe.
Or maybe the last tournament. He won the last tournament.
Dustin got like the seasoned player award of like
Dustin got
some
that.
absurd amount of money. Yeah.
Okay.
He got like 18 million for that, I believe.
Yeah. He's handing out checks.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's kind of good that Brooks actually won, because I think I had said on the show a while back how he seemed to me irrelevant. You know what I mean? He wasn't winning. I never even heard his name mentioned in like in the top 5 or anything. So
it's a whole different world for him. He only prepares for majors, but now he may not even be able to play in the majors.
Well, he
so
can't.
how is he going to get up to
unless the Masters calls him, nobody else is going to call him to play in the major. So
right.
That still kind of sucks. Well, I mean, no, but this, like they say, that's the bed you made. So
I think I said this before. I think they should allow. I think it should just be all past champions. Anybody who's already won, you're good. No new people. And before anybody jumps on me about that, I agree with. I don't know if you guys saw this. Who's our John?
Can you tell Vern's ready for
defensive? I'm fighting him all off. John Rahm, however, made some comments about the Ryder Cup. I don't know if you saw those. Where basically he said, "Hey, the Ryder Cup. I don't think the LIV players. The Ryder Cup is about the best European players versus the best U.S. players. Tournament agnostic." And I agree with him. He's like, "I don't think any." I was like, "This is an international competition,
right? More
akin to like the Olympics or the World Baseball Classic. We're not looking at leagues here." And I happen to agree with him. So like I said, I can be fair. But yeah, if you're already a past champion in the major, you got to be allowed to come back. That's
true.
If you haven't won, then you're not playing any majors. You know what I'm saying? It's what I would do.
There's just a couple of things that's just so funny. Like, you hear certain players, and again, it gets back to Dustin Johnson, who like says what he feels, and it just is what it is.
Yeah.
You get certain players who talk about, whether. So here's the double kind of just like irony, I think that I see, or hypocrisy really, is that the tour said all this stuff, and then as soon as LIV is catching traction, they want to make all these changes that and stuff. And so we're all
they needed to make changes.
I'm saying, and where the changes? How come it didn't happen before LIV? It's like it's almost like they thought they could just continue business as usual. And
they probably did. There was nobody challenging them.
But then you get people who guys who are going to LIV, and they're saying, well, it's about more time with family. It's about such and such. But then they're complaining about not being able to play more events on the PGA Tour. It's like, well, if the thing is about less tournaments, then why
and more money?
And more money. It's just like, just stop it. Just say, I want to make more money and still play over on whichever tour I want to play on. Like, just
say that.
Yes, just say.
Be honest. Yeah,
just say what it is. And even with the PGA Tour, say, you know what? As much as he became unlikable, Phil had a point. Greg Norman, we hate him, but he had a point. There's more money we could do. There's more things we could do with the player. We could ensure better fields. We could have done more. And with them somewhat getting all this attention, it's causing us to do more, to do better. But we promised to do better. And here's what we've implemented so far. And we're going to implement more. Like, just say it. I don't understand. Like, we all see it. It's obvious to all of us. You're not fooling any. It's so funny. Public relations people, like, they do all this spin and stuff, and everyone knows that it's spin when we see it.
That is the problem. Like, every fan is, any person with a sensible enough to be like, I know you just did this for the money. I know you just want to play majors for the prestige.
Right. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And then you got the world, and then they're pulling everybody in the middle of their little feud. They're pulling the majors in, they're pulling the world golf rankings in, they're pulling everybody into the middle of this feud, and everyone's like, I don't want to be in the middle of this. Like what so even the fans, they're pulling fans into the middle of it. And there are families who won't get together this Thanksgiving, all because of LIV players going to LIV and leaving the PGA Tour and tearing families apart with this golf beef. And we don't need to have it. Freddie Couples, LB, you had Freddie on your list of things to talk about.
Yeah, I didn't see any of it, but I did obviously saw the story, and that's when he shot him out. I mean, it's his first win in 5 years, and he shot 60 on the final round. First, just for you who don't know, the Champions Tour only played 3 rounds for their tournaments. First and second round, he was -4 each of those days, and then the final round he went -12.
Right.
He first four holes he was par. Then he went from 5 to 9 he was birdies. 10, 11 were par, and then from 12 to 18 were birdies.
Oof.
Not a blemish on his card, and he ended up winning. I think he ended up winning by 6 strokes, I believe.
Wow, 12 under, you say?
Yeah, he went
54
12
holes. You say he should join Live. They give him $120 million.
Right, I wonder how much
Everybody all
right,
live.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but that's, I mean, the score alone, I was like, I just couldn't believe that stretch of birdies. I mean,
that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I need to go back and watch the video to see. I want to see the shots, all the stuff that he did, because I did look it up. He had 15 out of 18 greens of regulation and 11 out of 15 fairways hit. So yeah, obviously he got hot. So they even interviewed him. They said, I think this was before the round, and he was saying that, well, maybe after, but he was saying he felt really good when he left the range on that Sunday, or I said it may have been Saturday, their final day. But he said he felt so good. He hadn't felt that well leaving the range in forever.
Right.
And it showed in his game. So I just want to shout him out for that score.
Usually works in reverse for us amateurs. When we step up to the first tee,
exactly.
I felt really good on the range this morning. Go ahead and get ready to card that 110.
Yep. And yeah, what Rodney said that he said, yeah, he's a range gangster, because you feel good on the range, you get up on the tee box, and it all goes to hell. Yep. Everything I just worked on for the last hour. And when we went in Louisville, we went to the range. We got there an hour early. It was my suggestion that we get there an hour early, because I knew where my game was, and I really wanted to try and play better.
Right.
Because honestly, I do have a reputation now for those guys, because they saw me shoot really well down there. So I do have, there is some pressure.
What reputation is that?
You shot a 74,
76.
He's Mr. 74, man. That's the reputation.
Yeah, so when I go back, they expect me to play well.
They expect greatness.
That's funny.
So, yeah, so it's hard. It's hard being good.
I know.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, we're going to have a whole lot to come back and talk about next week. We got this PB tournament and a few things. This weekend, Vern, you've got a group going to the Woodlands. Yeah,
Woodlands out in Baltimore on Sunday. I think maybe 6 of us so far, trying to round up 2 more people, whatever. But should be interesting around. Like I was, we get the late tee times here in fall, but weather's been pretty good. 70 degrees this past weekend, beautiful weather. We're looking at like high 60s, maybe low 70s this weekend coming up, so should be good.
All right, there you go. There you go, folks. We'll be back next week. Talk more golf. It's Golf DMV.